Hello. Today I want to talk about Perplexity Spaces and custom GPTs. When I got my OpenAI's ChatGPT Plus account, it enabled me to create custom GPTs, what they call them, meaning it's like a smaller version of ChatGPT for a specific task. That's the easiest way to describe it. So, for example, I created a little custom GPT to generate kid stories and pictures, things like that. I created another custom GPT for drawing something in the style of Caravaggio, for example, and different things like that. It's not just all graphical or textual, it's basically a specific task that you're trying to have it perform with specific parameters that you can preset. So you give it some custom instructions, and that GPT will then act based on those instructions. You can take custom GPTs to a different level by adding additional what they call actions, but that requires a lot more knowledge in terms of programming and stuff, and not for the newbies, let's put it this way. Most people use it for basic stuff, and the basic stuff allows you to set up custom instructions, give it some kind of an icon, give it a name. Also, you can attach a number of files so it can get information from those files. And like one, for example, one of the custom GPTs I created was a chatbot that responds with the wisdom of the Stoics. And this was for a men's Stoics group. And yeah, it works great. It works really well. And this additional information that you supply via files, it's able to report based on that as well. Very nice. Okay. The problem is for some people is that they don't have the plus account, the paid account, $20 a month account. And with Perplexity, you actually have an option using their feature called Spaces, which is very similar. It's not exactly the same. It doesn't have some of the automation capabilities and features and some other capabilities, but it's very potent. It's very similar in many ways. Here I created this particular custom GPT specifically to help me write content for the YouTube videos that I create. So I just give it some information about basics of a video. For example, let's do, say, creating a video about using Perplexity Spaces versus custom GPTs. Okay, so let's say I give it just a little bit like that of information, which is what this video is, and it says, before I generate a description and thumbnail concept, could you give me a quick idea, focus on your video? Okay, so apparently it didn't understand enough. Okay. The video showing how Perplexity Spaces works and how it can be used instead of Chat GPT. Okay, so as you can see, based on my custom instructions, it comes back and says Perplexity Spaces versus custom GPTs. Which one should you use? And then it's got this little description here. I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's not anything unbelievable, but at the same time, it's nicely written. When I create the YouTube video, I can just drop it right into their description. And then it's got also a thumbnail. Now, initially, I asked it to create thumbnails, and it used to create the thumbnails for me, but for some reason it stopped working at one point, and it just doesn't do it anymore. And so I changed it to just give me the prompt, basically. And so it comes up with this prompt, yeah, which is not bad. And then if you want to continue talking to it, you can ask it to make changes. Usually I just take it as is. Sometimes I make a little change, but most of the time it's good enough. So that's how this particular custom GPT works, and I can run it anytime I want because I have a Plus account. But if you go to Perplexity, then on Perplexity they have this feature called Spaces right here on the left. If we click on it, you may remember if you watched my previous videos about my highly advanced space for getting the weather in Bill Burr's style. And so this is this weather by Bill space. But this one I created, I just started thinking that I don't need to use ChatGPT, that custom GPT. I can create the same thing here using Perplexity Space. So I created this one here, and custom instructions. Let's go here to custom instructions. As you can see, custom instructions here are pretty straightforward. Basically the same thing I did on ChatGPT. I did the same exact thing here. And you put it here, you put some kind of description, give it a name, you can give it a thumbnail, and that's pretty much it to set up a space, Perplexity space. Once you get done, you create it, you can also add files. So it's similar to custom GPT where you can add files where it'll use it when you do your prompting and you're chatting with it. It'll use those files for information. And also you can put in links for websites, which will also be useful potentially to get additional information when you're doing the search. Because remember, you're still doing the search here. It's a combination of automation and search. Part of it is also creation and doing a search potentially. In my case, I don't have any files I need to add for this particular purpose. I just wanted to physically create me the same content as I did before, and therefore I don't really need to specify any files of my own. And also I don't need to specify any links. I just needed to create something to go with my video. So in this case, you just type in a simple chat command like I did before, and you can see it came up with this particular answer. So there's the title, Perplexity Spaces, the free alternative to custom GPTs. And it says, in this video, we'll explore the Perplexity Spaces, can be powerful, and so on and so forth. So basically, you can see it created something also very nice. Yeah. So they added some things here that I'm not even putting in this video about Perplexity. So that's nice. And then they have the thumbnail concept here and Midjourney prompt. So it's a very similar output to what ChatGPT provided, except, again, this is from a free Perplexity account, not from a ChatGPT Plus paid account. And so now I can just simply copy this information, drop it directly into my video, which you'll see it when you watch the video, and that's all I need. And if I take the thumbnail concept and drop it into ideogram here, it comes out with several designs. Usually it does 4 designs based on this description. As you can see, it's pretty nice. It looks nice. It conveys the point. It'll do just fine as a thumbnail for this particular video, which I'm sure you'll see it in there. And some other ones generated were not quite as good, but this one I really like. I think it does the job. It looks nice. So you can do it in Midjourney, you can do it in Ideogram, you can do it in whatever graphics tool you use normally for generating AI images. And with that said, that's pretty much it. You can create your own spaces like this, and for any purposes you want. It doesn't have to be for videos, it could be for anything. Literally anything, for the business or for personal use. You can create something that will show you daily regimen for exercises or something, or meal planning, or things like that. You can create a space called the meal planner and put in some instructions there in there specifically outlining what it is that you're trying to get from it, and then every day you punch in some kind of word as a starting point, and then it'll go ahead and give you the meal plan. So in other words, you can use it for all kinds of different things, but the idea is that you can basically substitute custom GPT with similar functionality, not exact, but very similar, and be able to generate these things. And so in my case, if I go back to Spaces, and we'll wrap it up for those that haven't seen my weather report, we'll just run the weather report. And I think I just typed in the word weather. And what it'll do, it'll show me my report for my local city here, Redmond, Washington. And so it shows the temperature, all of that. This is nothing spectacular. But when you go down, it actually writes everything in the style of how Bill Burr, the comedian, would normally say. It gives you this kind of a heading, which is, you can see it's not exactly for kids, but certainly the way he talks. And it's got things like, okay, all right, folks, here's the real deal in Redmond, Washington. Current temperature, such and such, daily low and high. I don't have the exact lows and highs for today, but it's going to be a pretty soggy week, so just bundle up. Air quality not provided, but that's real. It's not like the rain is going to make it worse. So it basically has this humor element in there. And like on the wind, it says gentle 3 miles an hour from south-southwest. Yeah, it's basically just a whisper saying, hey, it's going to rain. and the humidity is 61, just enough to make your hair look like you stuck your finger in the socket. Okay. It's fun to see the weather report come out like this. And that's just simply done with having a custom instruction. If you go and look at this particular space, you can see the custom instructions right there. It says you're a professional weather forecaster with many years of experience. When user prompts the word weather, that's my trigger, go ahead and show the latest weather for Redmond, Washington, include current date and time, and some Bill Burr style headline as the heading, followed by daily low and high temperature, air quality, wind speed, and humidity. So I'm basically telling it what I wanted to show me on it whenever I invoke it. Provide all information in the style of Bill Burr, his usual humor and even foul language to mimic Bill Burr as closely as possible. At the end, ask if the user wants to see the forecast for the next 10 days. The user replies with a positive response, prepare a 10-day forecast, again, using Bill Burr's delivery. Okay? Basically, relatively short custom instruction, and you have something fun like this that you can run anytime, see what the weather forecast is. I'm showing it to you to show you that you can do very specific and at the same time very creative ways of using Perplexity Spaces, and they come with every Perplexity account, whether you're paying for it or you have a free account. So even with free accounts, you can create the same kind of stuff. So if you have any questions about using Perplexity Spaces, please leave them down below. And until next time, I'm Oleg.